What's up, guys? How you guys doing? It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I can imagine you guys going through a whole lot with this whole COVID situation. And again, I'd like to apologize to everybody, excuse me, that missed the entire My Day Mondays. I've been gone for about a month or so. And even though I've been gone for a month with the aims to prepare, this entire COVID situation has kind of thrown me off guard. So I'm at the point where something for you guys. It's mainly around how I've been getting through this entire COVID situation and making sure that I stay sane and I'm alive. So yeah, let me know if you guys can hear. Let me know if you guys are on point. It's the first time I'm doing this kind of live situation. So I'm kind of like at awe as to how I think along here. But yeah, just F's in the chat. If you guys are here, you guys can hear me and excited about this episode, right? Just gonna make sure that that needs to be here is here, and yeah, and I can start taking you through how I've been going through this entire 19 situation, and basically how you could use my methods to help you keep moving. Let me just share this link real quickly again. Oh, I just had an amazing supper with my family. So excuse me for being a few minutes mandatory. It was necessary. Part of the ways that we're dealing with the entire threat and the entire pandemic in the Mtlom household. Yeah, guys, just let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you guys how you guys. Yeah, man, just holler at me in the chat and let's go. So I'm not going to stream for too long today. You guys can see I'm a bit away from my usual spot. I'm back home, right? Staying indoors, staying quarantined. You can hear the dogs on the outside just making all of the noise. Like back home, I don't really have like my own setup from a office perspective. I kind of just find my way and just keep doing what I need to do. Just camp out in like the living room or something, and then I just keep going. So like today, there's like people in the house, they're just doing their thing. I don't want to be there just like complicating things and making a lot of noise. But yeah, so I'm chilling like at the patio. My father has like a patio. I'm chilling there. And yeah, I don't know, man. I just like yesterday, I tried to record the video, and the guy next door decided, you know what, I'm going to start cutting my grass. At like 6 p.m., this guy started cutting his grass, so there was so much background noise. It was unbearable for me to actually record in that situation. On top of that, I was trying to go live with 2 devices, and it was all just not working. And today, the dogs that I started recording just decided to start going haywire. I'm just kind of starting to think. I'm just starting to think that there's some earthly sabotage around the My Day Mondays. But nonetheless, we go in, we go hard, you know. That's what legends do. That's what future legends should be doing, you know. And no matter whatever hurt across, we just keep going nonetheless. Um, but yeah, okay, cool. So I'll just quickly talk you guys through how I and my family are going through this entire situation, this entire pandemic, and making sure that COVID-19 and the threat that it has to the world, the global society, the South African society, the economy, and so on. Making sure that in our homes, thinking it doesn't paralyze everything that we had worked so hard toward, right? And the momentum that we've built. So I came across a quote from Aristotle who says, "He who has overcome his fears will truly be free," right? Now, I felt this quote was relevant mainly because a lot of what a pandemic means is fear across multiple, from an economic perspective, from a social perspective, and what that can do to a psychological being or to a being's psychology is either terrible or it's, you know. So it's quite important to try and figure out and understand where you stand, right, and how the pandemic is going to affect you, and it is affecting you, right? Yes, there are situations that we can't control, and that's okay. As soon as you can understand that and you can acknowledge that you can't control those situations, you can start to figure out which ones of the situations that exist you can control, take control of those and help you move forward, right? Now, the last time I spoke about fear on My Day Monday, it was all about taking fear and helping it and using it to help you move forward, right? Now, this is the perfect time to do that. I remember when our President Cyril Ramaphosa announced the lockdown, the first thing I thought to myself is, I have the skill from a technology perspective, from a music perspective, and from being able to encourage and influence people. How can I use those skills to assist the nation get through this pandemic? And the first and the low-hanging fruit was from a technology perspective. How can I enable the government or business help flatten the curve, as we've spoken about across the South African and across the globe, right? And I called one of my friends. I was like, "Hey, dude, lockdown, this is the situation. We need to figure out how we can help, right? Using tech." And my idea was around understanding how we could help the government meet people in informal settlements and rural areas, with the understanding that those places don't necessarily have infrastructure that's available, no simple things like street names. So how do you get around, and how do you connect these people, was my question. The reason you want to connect them is so that they can collect any sanitary products, sanitizer, whether it be soap, masks or gloves or whatever the case may be, and even maybe a test. And my idea, and I think I'm sharing it because I want it to start building some traction and some momentum, is instead of us having 10,000 people announced yesterday or last night, going house to house and testing people house to house, let us have central pods or central test centers where people can come at a controlled rate to those centers for them to get gloves, for them to collect masks, for them to collect sanitizer, and for them to collect soap. And while they're at it, let them get tested, right? Have those 10,000 people split up into multiple teams that perform the same function in what we'll call a remote center, right? What then happens is we will assign a certain radius or certain group of people a center that they will go to at a specific time within the 21-day period, and we control the number of people that we assign to go into that direction, and then give them those and test them, and they come away having something at the end of it, instead of have 10,000 people roaming the streets, all at the same time. Figure out how we can do it in droves and in segments and push them to a particular direction, which would be the test center or the remote test center at a specified time, right? There's no streets, there's no street names. How do we go about that? We use the technology that we have today. There's actually a tool called, I'd like for you guys to look it up. It's called What Three Words. What Three Words, it has basically divided the globe with 3 by 3 square blocks, right? And each and every block has an address. Then the unique address consists of 3 English words, combined words, right? So it could be alpha, omega, red, for example. And the block that I'm in could stand for, could be alpha, omega, red. The next block, which could be 3 or 4 meters away from myself, maybe 3 meters away from me, is another address, which could be alpha, omega, blue, for example, So we could use those type of tools to understand where the centers would be based and to understand how they could get to the center. Now, I built a quick app, and I'll probably just share a link on my description a little later. I built a quick app which could basically utilize that, right? And I'm still working on it. I'm still working on understanding how I could make it fit for purpose, and perhaps build a strategy around that we can adopt to utilize in a disaster type of situation. And this made me start to think about a whole lot more. But I think I'll get to that point as I'm speaking through how we could use the fear that the pandemic is given and crawled into our homes to help us think about how we can move ourselves forward and our economy forward and South Africa and the African continent forward after lockdown, after this pandemic has blown down to some degree, right? So excuse me, I will be looking at my phone every now and again just to remind me of what I was planning to speak to you guys about. And already, of course, derailed and I've started talking about something else. But I think it was necessary. It was necessary, So, like I said before, right, this entire situation isn't necessarily just a medical threat. There's also a psychological threat. There's also an economical threat. And I'm going to focus on the psychological part of it more than anything else, right? And from a psychological perspective, it is quite easy for you to get down into the bad sort of conversation around what the pandemic has done. Listen to the news, social media giving you all the bad things that could go wrong and that are going wrong. And for you to immerse yourself in all those bad news and bad information, right? It's quite easy to do that. I've been doing that for some time, and I realized that it isn't going to help me much. Yes, it is basically just reinforcing my understanding of what this pandemic means to the world. But what am I going to do after I know that information, after I have that full understanding? The moment you have that full understanding, or the moment I understood that I fully understand what this pandemic means, or fully in a very loose way, was when I started to feel morbid about every single thing I'd hear about the pandemic. That is when I understood, okay, cool, I understand that this is bad, I understand this is terrible, right? Cool. What now? What am I going to do now? And yes, to me it may be a little easier than other people. People have lost their lives, the costs of healthcare obviously is increasing at a degree that we've never seen before. The cost of everything else, the cost of living is increasing, where shops are just increasing prices drastically, mainly because the supply of goods is stringent and it's strained, and it becomes quite difficult to not feel that. I feel I am privileged to have had a job that was able to give me enough for me to be able to sustain not just myself but part of my family as well. But on top of that, I wasn't just focusing on making sure that my job can give me a great salary, making sure that my businesses are running really well, making sure that my businesses run really well and can pay and maintain a whole lot of my lifestyle that I've built around me, right? And my lifestyle isn't that extravagant, to be honest. roll there and there of some alcohol. It's data. It's a machine, a proper running machine, for me to be able to do these videos for you. And at that, I haven't even gotten everything that is necessary for me to give you the best quality. As you can see, today I'm not using any of my phones because I'm live on YouTube. As I have a minimum amount of subscribers, under 1,000 right now. I think I'm sitting at 45 or so subscribers. YouTube doesn't allow me to go live on my phone. And because of that, the camera quality is terrible, and I'm kind of giving you a reduced quality product, which is something I vouched to not have done. Again, I'd like to apologize for that. These are some of the technical glitches that I've been working through and trying to understand, right? But as I move forward and as I start to understand a bit more about what I can do to enhance your experience here on My Day Mondays, I'll keep doing that, and I'll keep informing you, right? I'll probably do like skits of videos where I collect something new and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm about to do. This is why I bought this item. Look at it. This is what I'm expecting to do with it. Look out for that video and I'll give you a shout out, Yeah, and just to get back to what fear can do in this entire pandemic, uncertainty, man. Oh, it is so difficult to deal with issues in the middle of big hairy ball of uncertainty, to try and take a step and to be in any way part strategic in your life or in anything that you're trying to do from a career perspective, personal life, family, in the midst of so much uncertainty. We don't know what happens next, nobody knows what happens next. Yes, we are trying to mitigate and flatten the curve, but what happens after the curve has flattened, we're not sure. Does it spike back up, or does it keep going down, or does it stay at that rate? I just feel like the coronavirus is going to be the next flu, something every winter at some point in time. So as soon as we can figure those type of things out, sooner we can start to look at it as something that we will need to live with at some point in time, right? So yeah, allowing fear to rule your life can lead to a whole lot of issues within your life, right? You can also basically get manipulated from fear. Fear is a very powerful tool to control, right? And you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you are controlled because of fear, right? I'll give you an example. People were panic buying toilet paper, and when I got to the office the other day, a lady said to me, dude, people are buying toilet paper. I think I should also be buying toilet paper. And I'm like, come on guys. Now we're buying toilet paper because 200 people are buying toilet paper as well. Why are we even buying toilet paper as if we're crazy? The world is not ending. And if the world was ending, is toilet paper really the thing that you'd want to have the bulk of? You know what I'm trying to say? But anyway, fear can lead you to doing stupid things, can lead you to doing crazy things. And maybe it's so stupid to somebody else. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that's kind of just out of it. But you don't want to find yourself being manipulated because of fear, being controlled and doing these things that you'd never have done because of fear, right? Imagine this. You're in the middle of uncertainty about, for example, your job, and then you decide to take all the money that you're not sure how you're going to make back to go and buy toilet paper. How is that logical? How is that sensible? You know what I'm trying to say? So all of that type of thing is derived from fear and boils down into a ball of, I don't know what, of nothing. So you shouldn't take decisions based on fear. Instead, you should allow fear and the energy that fear brings to your life to help you start to think in a logical way, to help you start to think about things that will help you move forward, that will start to break down the uncertainty in one way or the other. Even though other people may be uncertain around you, how can you build certainty for yourself? Right? The way I've been thinking about it is thinking about how then the future will be after this pandemic, whether there is an after this pandemic or not. you know. So I've been saying to myself, in a situation where 21 days is over, the economy has changed, life has changed as we know it. How do I place myself in prime position to take advantage of the change, to take advantage of the shift in thinking and the adoption of new concepts? Technology to our parents and to our grandparents is a new concept. I'm right in the middle of it. I know how to use it very well. Because of this pandemic, that new concept becomes a concept that they slowly start to understand. So what I'm trying to say is this pandemic basically brings up new opportunities as we move forward. Now, opportunities are something that you can control, right? You can decide to take that opportunity as soon as it presents itself. You just need to be able to see that opportunity. Right? So that's kind of how I've been thinking. That's where my mind has been going with me for the past few days. Yes, I've been, in an up and down kind of spiral, feeling good then, but it's quick spirals. I find myself feeling like shit for like 2 hours. 2 hours later, I'm already thinking, okay, cool. This is basically what we can do. And there's times where I'm like, the whole day, I'm just feeling really down. But when I come back up, it's a My Day Monday. You know what it is. We're back at it again. So yeah, man, don't get controlled by fear. Don't make decisions based on fear. Use fear as a source of energy for you to think about how you can make the next step and the next decision. Right? Okay, I've got another quote here from Bertrand Russell. He was an English philosopher, I think. Neither man nor a crowd nor a nation can be trusted to act humanely or to think sanely under the influence of great fear. Right? So, as soon as you allow fear to influence you, expect yourself to not act in a logical way. Excuse me. Expect yourself to not act, he says, to think sanely and to be humane. As soon as you're scared, to imagine they said, no more food, no fruits, no veggies, no nothing, no meat. The only thing that exists is humans and bugs. No grass, no trees, no nothing. Right? At some point, if you allow fear to influence you, you will eat another man. You will eat him. You'll eat him. You'll cook him. I don't even know if you'll cook him because you're not even acting. You're not acting sane. You are basically acting insane, and that influence comes from thinking and allowing fear to help you think. Right? Instead of allowing the energy that fear brings to you help you think things that will help you move forward. So I think I need to make that very clear. Right? Using fear to think is different to using the energy that fear gives to you help you think. Right? Just let me know in chat if I'm missing that somewhere somehow. Kulu, hey, dude, you are like boss for being here all the time. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your support, man. It means a whole lot to me. Kulu says, this is a great contact between individuals. Oh, that's the idea that I had around the piece of technology that will get people, that will connect the government and the people. Thank you so much. I'm still continuing. I'll probably share it with you. We'll see how it moves forward. Okay, cool. Here are some other things that I put down, right? In your pursuit to trying to get yourself off of the foothold that the pandemic or COVID-19 has put on you in the form of fear, yes, you can break out of fear, but as you break out of fear, remember to start showing empathy. And my partner said this to me. She's like, because I'm like to her, hey dude, now that like I feel I've been freed from the fear of the pandemic, I see people around me that are embroiled in the fear. And she's like, no, it's okay. Just remember, it might just be those acts that you see as those that are showing fear may be acts that are just being genuine. They're just being genuine and kind, So show empathy in those people that are still embroiled in the fear and have conversations with them around how you can assist them out of it. Basically what I'm doing here. Um, I have a weird way of dealing with fear. I just use it to work, I just get out. And I write in my book, I wish I had it right next to me, but I have it in my book, I just write in my book and I go, and I just keep going, right? I don't want to waste too much more time with you guys. Let me see how much of this I can get through. Okay. So as soon as you understand the virus and the magnitude and the impacts can have across the globe, with that understanding and precise appreciation of the situation I've written, you can free your mind from worry and fear to one of creativity and strength, right? And now you can start thinking about how can I help? What solutions have already been implemented? And those solutions you can basically derive other ideas from. That's then why I would ask that. Who can I share my ideas with, right? Who's around me that's kind of like trying to get out of this hold and keeping them busy with something that is positive, could help them get out of this hold that this fear and this pandemic has brought upon us, right? And then write your ideas down and share them with your peers, right? And test them with your peers, right? Okay, cool. Doing this, well, after I had done this, it started to run my mind so that I was able to see outside of the current situation, right? The difficult part is seeing the people closest to you become susceptible to the fear and agony, right? And it's very, very difficult as soon as you step away from the situation and you come back to see your people and the people around you still in the same situation. It's very easy to ridicule them, but it's also very easy to get back into that cycle as soon as you're important to understand that those are the two things that can happen. But you still have the third way that you can choose, which is step back and understand how you can help them. And by helping them, you get to perpetuate a positive energy around you that you can then utilize to help more and think about more and more creative ideas that will help everybody move forward, right? So at this moment in time, we're all in one house, we're all cooped up in one house, right? Because of the lockdown, and everybody's in fear. You're the only one that you feel you've unlocked yourself from the fear of uncertainty, the fear of the world coming to an end. You've unlocked, but you see your family in this fear, right? What do you do for you to be able to stay out of the fear and for you not to ridicule these people? Show empathy and help them by talking them through your ideas and giving them positive reinforcement in the form of hope, in the form of information that is positive. Don't misinform them. Don't exacerbate any situation that exists. Don't play to their understanding, and don't play to their I'm looking for this word now, to their beliefs about this entire COVID-19, just understand it and show empathy. Step in the shoes and understand how and why they're seeing it for what it is, right? Don't judge them. Find a way to keep them hopeful and keep feeding them positive thoughts, be the positive ball of energy in your space, right? The sooner you can try and get them into a positive space, the sooner you'll be able to stay into a positive space. And I think this entire sort of concept that I'm sharing with you is applicable outside this pandemic, is applicable outside the situation where you're in fear. In poverty, for example, how can you, if you're in a situation where you are impoverished and you feel that you can unlock your mind of understanding that and believing that you're impoverished to one of wealth, strength, and wisdom, how can you get the people to start thinking the same way, right? And I think you can use these principles and these concepts in that as well, right? And then I go on to say, the moment you can start thinking about this consistently, you will start to see just the people around you. You'll start to see how bad people believe everything to be on TV, social media, the friends that call you overnight, and so on and so forth, right? And you just need to make sure that the ideas that you've written down, you keep working on them, you keep working at them, right? Mainly because those ideas are a source of positivity. You cultivated them, and you perceived them from a light of positivity. So you working on them just keeps boiling up positivity and creativity as you move forward. Keep working on those ideas, right? And as you keep working on those ideas, they start to groom other ideas. I say here in my text, and I'll put this all down on the description after I post that. I say, you will start to possess ideas that can help shape the future of the world. Can you imagine coming from a state of complete mental paralysis to redefining what your country's economy could look like, what the global economy could look like? You know, that's the kind of thinking that starts to happen as you employ positivity in your life to try and move out of the situation. It's no more just a small bubble and all of us are just sitting in fear. It's a situation where you understand that everything will change and I get to be part of that change, right? And as I get to be part of that change, what are the things that are going to change? Definitely the economy is going to change. How we work is going to change. Socially, everything is going to change. Technology is going to change. How do I become part of that change, right? And as soon as you realize that I can be part of this change using these skills, you can then start to think, if I can change this at this degree, what stops me from changing it at this degree, you know? And that's basically how I've unlocked myself from the fear of this pandemic, you know? And that happened, I was ready to go. I was ready to go out. I was ready to be like, all right, cool. COVID's done. I was like, no, because you have unlocked yourself from that fear doesn't mean COVID's done. Doesn't mean the coronavirus is done. No. It only just means that you have found a way to deal with everything and still find a way to look forward. Still see a light that you can see yourself through, and that you can see a bit further than what you were seeing an hour or days ago, you know? As soon as I said lockdown, the only thing I could see was my computer screen and the table I was sitting at and the fridge, right? Social media was just making sure that the mental paralysis is at a degree of no return. So you have to unlock your mind from that paralysis and help you start to think about things that are going to unlock not just yourself but everybody else and set you up for greatness in the future. Right? That's basically all I have to say today, guys. It has been 30 minutes, I think. Damn, that is long. I talk too damn much, man. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming in and listening to what I have to say. I'll post this video. I don't know how it's been going. I'm looking at the status of the stream right now, and it's been up and down, you know. So yeah, I am really appreciative. You know, it's a My Day Monday and also a Tuesday today. Apologies again for yesterday's glitch and for me not posting yesterday. But yeah, like COVID has changed a lot. It's changed a lot in everybody's lives and in my life too. And I'm managing. And to me, it's we've fallen, dust yourself off, and find a way to keep moving forward, right? If you guys just feel like you just definitely can't handle what is happening right now, there are Facebook groups that have daily psychologists who just answer questions and have one-on-ones with people. That could be really helpful, you know. I'm not a psychologist. I can't necessarily walk you through every single mental aspect of what the pandemic can do, but I can walk you through what has been happening in my mind, what has been happening in my life. And perhaps you can use that as an example to help you move forward, right? Yeah, I love you guys. Let's catch up. I'm gonna try. My internet is really bad. Well, it's not really bad, but it's not really good. I'll try to post more videos than I usually do during my time or during the 21 days. But yeah, till next time, just check my statuses, check my Facebook. Remember to like, subscribe. I'm gonna go live with my music channel later tonight, probably about 10ish o'clock or so. I'm gonna record a mix for you guys. It's gonna called a lockdown mix. But yeah, enjoy yourselves, keep safe, keep sane. I got my sanitizer here in a soap bottle, you know. Got my hand soap in the bathroom, everything's on point. I'm sanitizing and I'm making sure that I'm keeping safe. Trying not to touch my face, but it's quite difficult in a situation where everybody's telling you not to touch your face. What is the first thing you want to do when somebody says don't touch your face? Just touch your face, nigga. Stay safe, stay sane. I love you guys. Keep safe. Cheers.